Okay, so this is day 2. I have some more normal lighting. You'll have to forgive me, I'm still kind of figuring out a lot of the technical stuff. Last time I was actually using my iPhone, I'm using it again this time, with the flipped camera so that I was looking at myself, which is a lower resolution. So now I can't see the screen, I kind of lined it up and I think it's about right. Similar with lighting, I just sort of have the hallway light and this light. It's not like I have some good lighting anywhere. I have the phone. I have tripods, but not for a camera, phone rather, for a regular camera. So I have the phone kind of propped up on a shelf in a small glass case that I have Ultraman figures in. So hopefully this will work, at least for now. A little bit down the road I might get a better setup, but I don't want to spend too much time worrying about the video aspect of it right now. So today's the second day, and it is Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving for us here in the U.S. And I had a decent day, not better than yesterday, not great. I did about 3.5, 4 hours, which again is more than the challenge requires, but since I have no real other work going on right now other than housework and that kind of stuff, 4 hours I feel like would be a good minimum, and ideally do more. But anyway, the reason I didn't do as much is because I ended up cleaning out a closet and didn't actually finish cleaning the closet. I was getting comics together to sell. I have tons of comics to the point where I could sell a couple boxes and still have tons, so I'm trying to do that. Nor did I finish going through all the comic books. But I digress. So what did I get done? I'm doing this with my hands a lot. Hey, I'm going to karate chop the heck out of this comic making video. Anyway, what did I get done today? So the first one is the military commander for the story I'm doing, which is, the story is called The Horror, by the way. And it's a sort of sci-fi-ish. It's sort of a not-too-distant future in a planet very much like Earth, you know. So there's a military commander who's a major character, and I needed to design not just the human aspects of his face and things, and his, you know, proportions and things like that, but more importantly his uniform, which had to be military. But I didn't want to look like any real military we have now, so maybe I looked at a bunch of different reference. He's sort of he's a bad guy-ish. I mean, he's not a bad guy, but he's very jingoistic, very warhawk, very like into fighting, you know, very thinking force is the answer, might makes right kind of guy. So I tried to look up a lot of leaders like that on the internet and sketched a bunch of them. I'll show you that. And these are not sketches I did today, but earlier, which was sort of, I guess, a study in military commanders. And this is the second time I filmed this, and my cat just needs to walk across it again, so we're just going to leave it. And as you can see, I have Zod from Superman 2, and then all the rest of these are, I don't know what that looks like, a hero of some sort. The rest of these are all military commanders from actual photos online. Some of them are famous, like that's Stalin. You know, some of them are famous commanders, some are just ones that looked imposing. I did all that. I ended up liking this guy's look the best because he looked the least like the traditional, like he looked the least like him, basically, is what I liked. So I'm going to show you when I started working on that now. So you can see this was the quick, like sort of rough I did, standing at attention, hands behind him. And then over that, I kind of readjusted the pose, made his proportions look a little more heroic. See how he's a little doughy there. And I actually wanted him to look like an action commander, not like some old fat general that hasn't seen, you know, any duty in forever. And then from there, I put this on top. And you can see I made him a little bit taller and changed the proportions a bit. And here, you know, you see the face come in a little bit. It doesn't look as tough as I wanted. And the uniform, which is basically military. He's got the same hat that he had in the reference, but I sort of put my own spin on it. I also like the idea of, I gave him a sidearm, because again, I want him to be the type of general that is still a warrior, but then I gave him two, because he's even that much more of a warrior. Then after I did that, I said, oh, you know what? I think he could be posed proportion better, so I did that sketch over it, and then I cleaned up from that sketch, and this is the final, where he still has the guns, but now they're kind of built into those wide aviator pants from like the 30s. And then once I did that, I needed to get the logo. For the logo, I looked up a bunch of, I just put in military logo, military insignia, and I found a ton. And most of them are like U.S. Army and things like that that we've seen, which I didn't want to use too much. because I don't want it to represent any particular time or country or anything. These are the ones I liked the best. Actually, one of them I think is U.S. Army, now that I'm looking at it. And a lot of these are not real military. The top right one's from Attack on Titan, the anime. The rest of them, a lot of them are from like clans in Unreal Tournament or Quake or Call of Duty or something. But I used these and just did a bunch of sketches, kind of drawing pieces of these, inspiration, whatever. 4 rough designs I came up with. Out of these, the 2 I liked best were the like wing one and the one right in the middle. So then I grabbed those. Sort of combined elements I liked of both of those and added some more detail and refined it into the one in the middle there, which still might get changed a little bit more, but you know, could be used as is. Put it next to the military commander, and I think that looks good. Even just to get the mood of the piece and who he is, like, oh, he's standing in base, or that's his flag. And then I didn't have it before, but if I get in close, oh, there we go. You can barely tell, but the insignia on his hat is that logo. You could tell more easily the one on his shoulder, which I might need to flip. So that was the military and commander and the logo, which is most of what I did today. So that took me the longest. Between him and the logo, that was probably about 2+ hours right there. Cleaned out some closets, did a few other things, came back to it, and then I did a design for a character who I'm right now calling Koji, who is an older gentleman that lives in a retirement home, old age home, whatever you want to call it. And similar to the sketch I did the other day of the bartender, I kind of put him in his environment, just to kind of get a feel for who he is a little bit. The lamp, I kind of put the shade on upside down, which I may or may not do in the comic, but as I'm doing these, I'm trying to just put in little different touches to make it not quite seem like our world. Maybe in this world they found out that having the light focus up is easier on old people's eyes, or maybe there's a fashion person that thought it was cool. I may get rid of it, I don't know, but just that's the kind of a thought process there. Here you can see I drew blue on top to refine it a little bit more and get him looking a little bit more like a person. Dropped away some of the background detail that wasn't important. Cleaned up even more. I'm going to close in onto his face there. First head, and he looks plenty old enough, but he just kind of looks miserable, and he's not supposed to be a miserable character. He's supposed to sort of be a mischievous, happy old man. I thought adding glasses would help. I don't know why that would make him look less miserable, but whoa, glasses? No glasses. Doesn't matter. I changed the face. This guy that has a little bit more of a happy, smirky, hey, how you doing? Come on in. I put a little bit of color in his face just to, even though it's not going to be a colored book, just to sort of give myself an idea of it. And this was okay, but it was also, I think, a little bit big, although I may have shrunk it down already, yeah. This was okay, but the character is supposed to be Asian, and this guy looked a little bit too Caucasian to me, so I changed it. A little bit more of a crick to his neck since he's older. Give him a little ponytail, goatee. I think this guy looks kind of fittingly like an old guy, yes. Like a happy, kind of mischievous guy, yes. Like an Asian guy, yes. Is this design done? Probably. Last character was... character design, I should say, was for a smaller character, only in one scene, sort of a street thug early on. Nothing, like, not fleshed out at all, like, literally in the writing. It's like, street thug. He tries to steal something, and that's, like, his whole character. So, he was the easiest, not just because he's not as important as the other two, but also because, you know, I just drew a beefy, looking, intimidating dude, and, you know, that kind of does the trick. I put, the only thing, like... extra creative than drawing a beefy dude is I give him these weird diamond tattoos and kind of like a triangle belt buckle and a couple little details of things that like could exist now, but maybe give a hint that this is sort of the future or another planet or something, which isn't a huge plot point in the story, but just because of there are fantastical elements in the story, and so just so it's clear, this isn't supposed to be present day our Earth, but I don't want to have a box in the beginning saying, "Welcome to Feldakar. 13 million years ago in Feldakar." You know, it's like, it's whatever, just story and people can figure it out. The thug was pretty easy. I kind of gave him an intimidating pose, and then I put this, for a height reference, this would be Boots, the main character, who's a girl, and she's not short, but he's very tall. I didn't do anything else with her. She was just in there for reference. Then on top of that, I redid him. That was pretty finished. I almost could have left it at that, but then I went in, Uzi, and got him more finished. Kind of a fake background. It's like an overpass. It's supposed to be sort of a city alleyway, whatever. She's over here, and he's like, "Yo, where you going? I'm a thug man." And she's like, "I don't care. I'm just lines that are blue." Anyway, that's him. Street thug. Very important character. yeah, so that's about it for today. I guess tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but I live across the country from all of my family except for my wife. We're probably going to be putting up Christmas decorations as part of our Thanksgiving, since it's just the two of us and the cats. Yeah, so I'll definitely do something tomorrow, but it's unlikely tomorrow will be my big productive day. But I will be checking in with you regardless, because this is only day 2, and I've got 98 more. One last thing, everything I just showed you on the monitor, I was sort of holding my camera as steady as I could while manipulating the mouse and the stylus and stuff. That was a mistake. I probably should have just put a slideshow of still images or used some screen capture software. I didn't really have that set up at the moment, and I'm just trying to get this video done before dinner time, to be honest. So I'll try to do better in the future, but yeah. It is what it is, and what it is not that great. But anyway, I love you.